Who else is not surprised that Ndotana Chuma chose South Africa as a destination for his hideout? Who was surprised? I wasn't surprised. As a matter of fact, I had my instincts that he's in South Africa. The moment I heard that, because it was a trending story in the UK of a Zimbabwean but as a British citizen who unalived his 42-year-old wife and two children. And he seemed to have fled the country of England. And he's seen at Heathrow Airport purchasing a flight ticket, I think. And in my head, I was like, oh gosh, here we go again. South Africa is going to be his haven. This is where he's going to hide out. And I keep hearing people say, oh, he went to Zimbabwe first. Nah, if he went to Zimbabwe first, he would have been dumb. Because the thing is, South Africa is a signatory to the Roman Statute. The Roman Statute gave birth to Interpol. And South Africa, since it's a signatory, obviously, if you are wanted in the countries that have signed the Roman Statute, like England, obviously, England is going to send an APB to all the signatories and say, if he pops here, please let us know. Just call your nearest Interpol wing in your country. So if he went to Zimbabwe and then the plan is to come to South Africa as his final destination and a hideout, he would think, that means I'm going to have to produce my British passport at border control, both sides in Zimbabwe as well as South Africa. He might go through with the Zimbabwean border, but South African border at the moment, his ID is tagged, the computers will go berserk. And then he gets arrested right there. So the best thing to do is to fly directly to where you are going to hide out, Johannesburg. And I don't think that Johannesburg was his final destination. Like all fugitives that run away to South Africa, they end up in Cape Town. Hence, he was found in Kensington. Kensington and OR Tambo International Airport, they're just down the road from each other. So I think his plan was, okay, from here, I'm going down to Cape Town. And I don't think he was going to fly to Cape Town because, again, you're going to have to produce all documentation in order for you to hop on that flight. I think he was going to drive. 5 days in South Africa, goodness only knows what he was planning. And I cannot wait to hear, if he's interrogated, what was his plan? Where was he headed to? And I'm telling you, Cape Town is going to pop up. Cape Town, you are having a bad reputation when it comes to fugitives in this country. I'm laughing because I am angry. I am so angry at Home Affairs. I am angry at Home Affairs for the reputation that they've built us on the global stage, especially when it comes to criminals. Because people that are coming to South Africa, yes, there are those that innocently come to South Africa for leisure, for education, for work, business, and things of that nature. But you also have a whole bunch of people with a different mindset, nefarious mindset, and they know very well that they will get away with it because South African police have been broken down to greediness. South African police cannot help saying no. Cannot help that if they are bribed, they take the handcuffs that are given to them and slap it on the person that is trying to bribe them, and then they get prosecuted and convicted. They cannot do that. So they needed to break Home Affairs, they needed to break the South African Police Service, and they also needed to break the NPA because there are some prosecutors, especially those. You have to ask yourself, why did you go to law school? To do this nonsense? Sell off your country, take bribes, and go inside there, and then you pay the magistrate. Because I always believed in the judiciary that the magistrates can still be bribable. Where you will have a little bit of trouble is the High Court. But now all of that is questionable to me. With everything that's going on in this country, Why? So all of these things, they play a major role in the people that come to South Africa with a nefarious idea, not to benefit South Africans and not to contribute positively into the South African economy either. And I always say that South Africa is a strategic position geographically. And obviously, the people with nefarious minds and ideas and plans, they see South Africa as this springboard to get even bigger in whatever endeavors that they are in, whether that is human trafficking, drug trafficking, or drug manufacturing, you name it. They know that, okay, let's do what was it called again? Come on. I have it in my head. You know, Vasco da Gama, Dutch East India Company. They used the Cape of Good Hope as a resting place, but they were going to the east, like India, to get spices and all that sort of stuff. And then again, they'll come to the Cape of Good Hope to rest, to refill, get fresh water, and then travel the Atlantic into Europe. So they're doing the same thing with nefarious business. So you have to look at Chuma's mindset exactly the same way. The Chuma, he knew that, oh, if I analyze these three, South Africa is my haven and I'm going to get away with murder. That's what he thought. But he was not reading the room, though. Just like all dumb people are not reading the room. South Africa is fixing itself. 2026 has decided that South Africa is going to be its assignment when it comes to exposing, when it comes to fixing, because we are seeing things happening. All because South African people decided to stand up and say no more. Chuma was not reading the room. He did not hear South Africans saying, we are fixing our country. He did not hear that. That is why it's what the Interpol and South African police found him in a short space of time. 5 days, to me, that's great turnaround. Because a turnaround to me for a fugitive, it's 6 months, 12 months, maybe even 34 months. Because they are very slicky, slimy, and slithery. So 5 days, that's impressive turnaround. But I'm not surprised that he chose South Africa as a fugitive haven. Why? Because we have hidden a lot of fugitives in this country. Again, thanks to corrupt Home Affairs officials, thanks also to the inept government of this country from 1994. Inept. Because Home Affairs is supposed to be the most protected, the most watched over department of government because it holds the national security of the Republic of South Africa. But no. Instead, we're like, tear them down, those borders. And what did you think was going to happen? What was sustainable about tearing down our borders? And when you heard that our neighboring countries, they seem to be having a bit of a problem, didn't you anticipate and had foresight that, hey, if things go bad in these countries, we're screwed. So why didn't you start erecting a real border? Oh, because we've been signed up to Pan-Africanism. How's it working for us? Honestly, how's it working for us? So now we got, I don't know if we are going to be seeing an extradition process. I hope there will be an extradition process so that we do not find ourselves in a situation where Chuma is released. Yeah, because of technicality. Can South Africa do the right? Because the police did a great job. Can the judiciary now do a great job by making sure that this person goes through the process before he's extradited back to England? Can England also follow that process too so that you get your man? He has some questions to answer. There is no way that he will just, end 3 lives. His own blood as that cannot, it's not sitting well with me. And what makes it worse for me is that he chose our country. And if he'd gotten away with it, he would have gotten a South African woman and impregnated her and probably even married her and does the same thing. So please, let's follow the process to the T, however long it's going to take. In my other channel, I was sharing the story of Shrien Divani. Remember Shrien Divani? Yeah, he came to South Africa to unalive his wife, allegedly. And the reason why I'm saying allegedly, because he was acquitted after I don't know how many years of them trying to get him to come and answer to that heinous crime. Yeah. Again, South Africa being a destination where people with nefarious mindsets, they were like, oh, if I go to South Africa to unalive my wife, actually, I will get away with it because they are known to have very bad policing system. It doesn't sit well with me, and I don't think it should sit well with you either. Because now you have to ask yourself a question, how many other people actually succeeded because of our reputation? It's a horrible reputation to have, guys. It's a horrible reputation to have. That is why the South African Police Service needs to be overhauled completely. We need to start from scratch there. We have to start from scratch. Same goes with Home Affairs. Somebody was saying the other day, why don't we just fire every Home Affairs official, or at least let's take them through a vetting process, all of them. That way we know who is the rotten apple, etc. and so on, because they are still corrupt even to this day with everything that's going on. They are still selling South African people's identity to foreigners. Yesterday, I was listening to a story of a South African lady who lost a job in May. And when she went for UIF, she gets to the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor is like, what do you mean? You are working. She said, no, I'm not working. I'm here to get my UIF. And Department of Labor actually gives her the company she works for. I think it's a Gauteng Golf Club or something like that. She goes to the Gauteng Golf Club, assisted by somebody, and the club tells her that, well, what's going on? She's like, well, that person who is supposed to be you actually quit last month in June. And the reason why they quit last month is because somebody alerted her that, hey, Isibemile, you better leave that place. And because that person resigned, when you resign, you don't get your UIF, right? So now she doesn't have a UIF because the person that stole her identity resigned at the Gauteng Golf Club. I don't know if I'm calling it correctly, and allegedly. Okay, before they come, and allegedly. So now she's having problems because she now, her life is ruined until she finds this person. And do you think Home Affairs is going to help? No. Home Affairs will tell you, no, you need to go find this person. You need to find this person. This is type of reputation I'm talking about. And this is, you can tell, this is not something that is old. It's new. It is new. These people are not listening. But that Louis Vuitton must be bought. That December must have more alcohol, Hennessy, I don't know alcohols, and I don't know what model is which one, but they must have it. So the date December is great. Mara South Africans, we need to sit down as a family. Something went wrong along the way. We need to sit down as a family, guys, because this is the reason why government departments are rotten, because of whatever it is that happened to us that says, I'll make extra cash here and I'm not going to do it for long. There's no such a thing. I'm not going to do it for long. As long as you think you're not going to get caught, you will continue doing it, because the South African mindset is that I won't get caught. It won't happen to me. It's a horrible mindset. It's a mindset that gets us into trouble all the time. It won't happen to me. We need to quit that mindset. It's our enemy, guys. It's our enemy. That's the one that makes us to do wrong things, because we believe it's not going to happen to me. Hey, anyways, I just thought, let me give you my piece of thoughts about Chuma, that I was not surprised. My instincts told me Ugut is coming here to South Africa, but it is what it is. How we're going to clean this, I don't know. But this reputation is one of the things that we need to clean. It's bad. It is so bad. And I'm telling you, somehow, Donald Trump must regret what he started with South Africa. Because had he not, I'm telling you, those people that he chucks out, he would have brought them to South Africa. He definitely would have said, South Africa, here's some few billions of dollars. I don't know. We need to change. We need to talk. In order for us to change, we need to accept that we have a problem. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I had to come back from somewhere. I had to come back. I went somewhere and I had to come back. Otherwise, it was driving me up the wall. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time with a new video. Goodbye.